Welcome to this deep dive. Today's mission for you, the curious learner, is unpacking a massive stack of Guardian and Associated Press reports covering the explosive first week of Operation Epic Fury.
Yeah, the U.S.-Israel war on Iran.
Right. And before we jump in, a mandatory disclaimer. These sources feature highly politically charged perspectives from across the spectrum.
I mean, extremely charged.
Exactly. So we are strictly maintaining total neutrality here. We don't endorse any political viewpoint or side. We're simply conveying the factual claims, the events, and the ideas exactly as they're reported in the original text.
Right, we're just the messengers. So to start off, the launch of this operation was honestly kind of surreal.
Reading the Guardian report felt like a movie script. The actual war order was given from Air Force One, and actor Dennis Quaid was apparently there.
Yeah, reports say he was hanging out with the president doing a, quote, Reagan on steroids impression at the time the order went out.
Which is just wild to think about. But when you look at the logic behind the strike, things get very murky very fast.
Well, the administration's rationale kept shifting around dramatically. First, it was framed as a mission to prevent an imminent nuclear threat.
And to liberate Iranians, right?
Exactly. But then, just a few days later, Secretary of State Marco Rubio told reporters it was actually a preemptive move.
Because Israel was planning a strike.
Right, and he claimed Iran had this pre-delegated authority, meaning local Iranian commanders were already given the green light to automatically launch missiles at U.S. forces without waiting for top-down orders.
And then on top of all that, the president posts online demanding Iran's unconditional surrender.
It's a huge leap. Going from imminent nuclear threat to preemptive retaliation to unconditional surrender in just days points to a chaotic scramble to legally justify a strike that was already in motion.
We also have to look at the internal catalysts back home. Sources note the administration felt emboldened by that recent military extraction of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela.
The made-for-TV one.
Yeah. And the timing is hard to ignore, because launching this massive war also served as a huge distraction from the release of the Epstein files that same week.
Right. But that domestic political chaos really stands in stark contrast to the incredibly brutal reality on the actual battlefield. I mean, the scale is staggering.
Over 1,000 targets hit in 24 hours.
Including the assassination of Supreme Leader Khamenei.
But the civilian toll is it's heartbreaking. The AP reported on a tragic strike on a school that left 168 young girls dead.
It's horrific, and the chaos is already spilling over borders. Over in Lebanon, Israel launched a commando raid searching for a missing pilot from 1986.
Which failed and resulted in intense fighting that killed 41 local residents.
And amidst all this human cost, there is a massive technological arms race happening in real time.
Right, because the U.S. is dealing with swarms of cheap Iranian Shahed drones. Those low-cost explosive UAVs.
To fight those off, the U.S. is deploying a system called MEROPS. It's this AI-driven drone hunting tech they recently tested in Ukraine.
And it's tiny, right? It literally fits in the back of a pickup truck.
Exactly. It uses artificial intelligence to independently navigate and hunt down enemy drones, even when satellite links are totally jammed.
Which is going to be crucial because the theater is expanding. The UK is currently readying its HMS Prince of Wales aircraft carrier to join the fight.
And U.S. intelligence is warning lawmakers that this level of intense, high-tech fighting is rapidly depleting global weapons stockpiles.
The diplomatic fallout has been highly unusual, too. Iranian President Pezeshkian actually apologized to neighboring Gulf states because Iranian missiles crossed into their airspace during the crossfire.
But he completely dismissed the U.S. demands for unconditional surrender, calling it a dream.
That defiance is definitely causing some reality checks back in the U.S., especially within the veteran community.
The divide there is stark. Some veterans strongly support striking a state sponsor of terror. But on the flip side, many are looking at this and seeing terrifying echoes of the 2003 Iraq invasion.
Specifically, the lack of an endgame.
Right. And a classified U.S. intelligence report actually backs that up. Analysts doubt these strikes will trigger the regime change the administration initially hinted at.
So for you listening, why does this all matter? This isn't just some distant geopolitical chess game. It's a massive drain on global military stockpiles that is fundamentally reshaping international security.
It completely flips our traditional idea of warfare on its head.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought to mull over. With cheap disposable drones fighting AI-piloted interceptors like MEROPS that can function without satellite links, are we witnessing the dawn of wars where machines independently hunt machines, completely removing human decision-making from the battlefield?